multiplying and dividing integers. First, we're going to look at the rules for multiplying integers. And remember, an integer is a negative or positive whole number. The first rule says that if A and B have the same sign, then A times B is positive. So let's look at an example. If we have a positive 4 times a positive 6, our answer is a positive 24. The same way, if we had a negative 4 times a negative 6, our answer is a positive 24. So a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive. The second rule says that if A and B have opposite signs, then A times B is negative. So if one number is negative and one number is positive, our answer is going to be negative. Just like a negative 4 times a positive 6 will give us the negative 24. Similarly, the positive 4 times a negative 6 will give us a negative 24. Let's find the following product. Remember, a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So negative 8 times a negative 9. Both numbers have the same sign, so I know that my answer is going to be positive. And 8 times 9 is 72, so my answer is a positive 72. The answer to this question is positive 72. So we'll select the positive sign and type in 72. Find the following product, negative 8 times a positive 2. These numbers have opposite signs. The 8 is negative and the 2 is positive. So a negative times a positive is a negative. I know my answer is going to be negative, and 8 times 2 is 16. So my answer is negative 16. When we go to MyMathLab, we'll type in a negative 16. The negative sign and then 16. Now we're going to look at the rules for dividing integers. If A and B have the same sign, then A divided by B is positive. So a positive divided by a positive is a positive. And then a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So if they have the same sign, my answer is positive. If we look at the example, I have a positive 24 divided by a positive 4, and my answer is a positive 6. Similarly, if I have a negative 24 divided by a negative 4, my answer is still a positive 6. If A and B have opposite signs, then A divided by B is negative. So if one number is positive and one number is negative, then my answer is going to be negative. A negative 24 divided by a positive 4 is a negative 6. A positive 24 divided by a negative 4 is also a negative 6, because I had a positive divided by a negative. The signs were different. Perform the following division. Negative 72 divided by negative 4. Before we start, I also want to note that this fraction bar means division. So whenever you see that, that means to divide. This problem is the same as negative 72 divided by negative 4. Okay, now we're going to perform the division. I have a negative divided by a negative. Both those numbers have the same sign, so I know that my answer is going to be positive. since a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Next, you can take your calculator and do 72 divided by 4, and you should get an 18. So this answer is positive 18. To type in a positive 18, we'll select the positive sign and type in 18. Perform the following division. Positive 28 divided by negative 4. Now I have a positive being divided by a negative. My signs are opposite. So that means my answer is going to be negative. 28 divided by a negative 4 gives me a negative 7. So my answer is negative 7. To type in negative 7, we'll select the negative sign and type in a 7. Perform the following calculation. Negative 2 times negative 8 plus positive 9 times negative 4. This problem is a little bit longer than the other ones that we've looked at. To solve this problem, I need to follow the order of operations, which is PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S. If you know this acronym, you'll be able to follow the order of operations. The P stands for parentheses, E is exponent, M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. As you can see, multiplication comes before addition. That tells me that I'm going to multiply these numbers together first and then add them. First, we'll do negative 2 times a negative 8. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. So my answer is a positive 16. Next, I'll bring down the plus sign in the middle. And now I have to multiply a positive 9 times a negative 4. A positive times a negative is a negative, so my answer is going to be a negative 36. Now I want to add these two numbers together. Positive 16 plus a negative 36 gives me a negative 20. Again, you can do this on your calculator. To type in negative 20, we'll put our cursor in the answer box, select the negative sign, type in 20, and check our answer.